What's going on? What's going on? Shalom. It's your brother, the Gorilla Hebrew, here with the first installment of the Issa Gorilla podcast. Um, I know y'all recently seen the art, or you seen the promotional art go out. So I want to hurry up and get this started. I'm actually going to be doing this out of a studio. This one's kind of impromptu. I just kind of want to get the first installment out the way. But yeah, we're going to be getting the studio for it within the next couple of weeks. So I want to be able to give y'all the full studio experience, and somewhere for the guests to come in and us to shoot and give y'all a good visual along with the audio. First and foremost, forgive my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather. I was out of town last week, and ever since I've been back in town, this weather fluctuation is crazy. So um, just forget the voice. I'm a little bit under the weather, but we got a few things to talk about. Everybody is typically used to, seeing me, in a certain setting, in a classroom setting or in a street ministry setting. So this is going to be a little bit different, and we're going to be talking about different things. Mostly what's going on in the urban world. So, and in the world in general, the music and sports and things of that nature. This is what we're going to really be focusing on in this podcast. And of course, as always, we're going to incorporate, the knowledge and wisdom and understanding that's been granted to us by the Most High, right? But so I want to kind of get right into it. Ain't no need for no time wasting. Let's get right into it. Okay, into the first topic that I want to discuss. And the first topic I'd like to discuss was big news that occurred last week. As I started planning the actual podcast, so I just want to get to it. I want to. I made some social media posts about it, but I want to get this down on audio about the the biggest blockbuster and shocker trade in the NBA season this year, which was the trade, obviously, of Blake Griffin from the LA Clippers to the Detroit Pistons. This came as a huge shock to most of the sports world, but I honestly believe the only person who probably took it as a bigger shock or took it harder or as hard is Blake Griffin himself than me. And there's some reasons why, and people could ridicule me or whatever. I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody know when I care about something, I'm passionate about it. I'm hella passionate about it. So, um, I'm originally from Tacoma, Washington. All right, I want everybody to get that clear. That's about 45 minutes south of Seattle. Um, so naturally, I grew up Seattle Supersonics fan. Gary Payton, their biggest year, they actually played the playoffs that year at the Tacoma Dome. All right, which is the largest wooden arena in North America. All right, my hometown arena I grew to love and enjoyed many a great show there as a youth. So they played at that Tacoma Dome. So the Sonics was always big for me. Gary Payton was my favorite basketball player as a child. Um, but something happened. I had moved to California, and shortly after I had moved to California, there was a blockbuster trade similar to this one that sent Gary Payton to the Milwaukee Bucks for Ray Allen. Um, at that time, I was young. I only followed basketball, but so much. So all I really knew was Gary Payton. You know what I mean? Ray Allen, who, went on to be a great and went on to be a world champion and have all the success, a good brother. But I didn't know who the hell Ray Allen was. Just some nigga from Milwaukee at this point to me. So I was heartbroken by the move of my favorite player at the time, which is GP, to Milwaukee. So that kind of hoisted me out of being a Supersonics fan and kind of propelled me over to the team that was playing locally where I was at and that I moved to California. So I recall, watching KTLA. That's Channel 5. That's Channel 5 in LA, which at the time was the WB affiliate, but now it's the CW affiliate, I believe. But everybody, everybody in LA knows what KTLA is. Anyway, so I was watching KTLA and I saw because that was the home network for the Clippers at the time, KTLA. So I remember seeing the Clippers basketball commercials. That was Elton Brand's time, Corey Maggette, Quentin Richardson. Who else was on the squad? Chris Wilcox. I mean, it was squad. It was a thorough squad. Darius Miles actually wasn't on the team when I became a fan. That was his. He had went to the Cavs, I believe, after that. So anyway, um, so yeah, that's when I said, you know what, I like the way these guys play. I like them. They're a young team. They're talented. I like the way they play. I'm gonna dedicate myself to this franchise. I'm gonna be a fan of this franchise. So that's when I was about 12 years old, right? So, um, I became a fan of that was 2002. So I became a fan of the Clippers from that point forward. I was a Clippers guy. That's who I was rocking with. All right. So mind you, though, they wasn't winning no games. They probably only had won 17 games that season, and consecutively they performed at this level. But I maintained the fanatic level support of these guys, regardless. Lamar Odom was playing there too at that time. Lamar. Um, so I remain at mega fan level, um, fanaticism over the squad at that point for years consecutively. um, of course, Elton Brand became my favorite player, due to the affinity that I had for the Clippers and his role as a leader of the Clippers, and was the standout, you know, uh, team, number one team player. So I became naturally a mega fan of Elton Brand, number 42. He became number two behind Gary, on my all-time favorite list. So anyway, we made the playoffs. I remember going to a first NBA game I ever went to. Was it the first? I think the only NBA game I actually ever attended. Yeah, was Clippers Lakers. The Clippers were home. I believe it was in 2004. 2004 was Clippers Lakers. Lakers was home, but we ended up winning by 10. Clippers ended up beating them by 10. That's when this was when Kobe was coming off the rape thing, the situation in Colorado. And I remember it was dead quiet because it's Lakers home, mind you, so it was respect and silence for Kobe when he would step to the line. So I was yelling. You could hear me because of how quiet the arena was. I was yelling. What did I yell? Oh, I said white girls. White girls from Colorado. White girls from Colorado, section 119. 119 is right behind um, the home bench at the Staples Center. So I said white girls from Colorado, section 119. Um, and he almost missed a shot. He made it. Whatever. It's Kobe. But we ended up winning by 10. So anyway, I think we missed the playoffs that year, but we made them the next year, something like that. So we had literally one playoff year up until this top college prospect gets drafted, number one overall pick to the Clippers, um, which is Blake Griffin. Okay, now mind you, of course, I'm a fanatic level fan of the Clippers at this point in time in my life. Number one. Number two, here we have Blake Griffin coming out of Oklahoma. As far as collegiate goes, I don't have necessarily one team. It's too many college teams, so I don't really have like one team that I just mess with. I have various schools that I mess with. UW naturally, Cal, uh, OU, OK State, Texas is cool, Syracuse, Florida. Like I mess with a few teams. So Oklahoma which is where Blake Griffin came out of, is one of the teams I messed with. The Big 12. I was a fan of the Big 12 as a conference in general. So here he come, boom. On top of that, you know what I'm saying? He's Haitian. He got a Haitian father and an Irish mother. I got a Haitian father and an Irish mother. So here we got this dude with the Haitian father, Irish mother, coming out of the Big 12, my favorite conference in NCAA, getting drafted number one to my favorite team in the league. I mean, how can I not just become a super fan of this nigga overnight? You know what I'm saying? Then he gets injured, misses his whole first year, but it's cool. We ain't tripping. You know, we mess around. The Lakers try to get Chris Paul. David Stern step in, make sure we get Chris Paul, and as well as DeAndre Jordan, and we got a mega squad now. We got Lob City, the birth of Lob City. So as somebody who had to sit and wait, something like 8 years with that squad to have one winning year out of all 8 of them years, had one winning year, but still rock with them. And then for us to get this super trifecta of just awesomeness, of just black greatness in Blake and CP3 and DeAndre Jordan, man, it was rewarding. And you got to stay down till you could come up as a fan. So, of course, I put all of my love and support uh, into the franchise. And out of all sports, and I'm a sports guy. I'm a big sports fan. But out of all the sports, all the major sports and all the sports franchises that I support, there wasn't any I supported to the level I did the Clippers. Period. There's not none. You know, I like the Astros in baseball. I like the Seahawks in football. But I mean, they pale in comparison to the type of support that I put into the Clippers during my tenure as a fan. So you know, everybody knows what's happened over the course of the last 7, 8 years with the Clippers organization. Been in the playoffs every year, but you know, came up short. During the summer, you know, uh, we traded Chris Paul to the Rockets, and a lot of people are upset about that. I wasn't. I wasn't very upset, and the reason why I wasn't very upset and why I was content with losing Chris, um, was because if you look at his playoff numbers, he never produced in the playoffs for us ever. Not on a consistent, not what he was supposed to, not what he's acclaimed to. He never produced in the playoffs for us. That's number one. Two, even the year before, we almost lost DeAndre Jordan. He ended up re-signing. Or a couple years ago, remember the Dallas? He was going to go to Dallas, and at the last second, we kept him back, which I was glad about because I feel like that front court of Blake and DJ is just key. Started off the year with the Clippers good, with a few new additions, but then we got injury plague. You know, we had Patrick Beverley on the floor that we acquired from Houston, and he was a lockdown defender, but you know he ended up getting injured. But you know we've had the Clippers had a strong season up until this point, getting back in the playoff spot, etc. Especially after going on a horrible losing streak for having so many guys injured. Blake got injured, DJ got injured at a point in time, Beverly out for the year. You know, but then we had Lou Williams step up, Austin Rivers step up, etc. Anyway, so there was a lot of trade rumors this year surrounding the Clippers, but all of them involved DeAndre Jordan. And every time that I would get an alert, because I got an app, Sportsnet. Sportsnet or it's the Score now? I think it's the Score. Anyway, I got an app, the Score, and it always alerts. You know, when you star a team, you put a team as your favorite team. It's gonna give you every single thing that has to do with that team that is hitting the line. So it kept hitting different trades for DeAndre Jordan, and the main one was sending him to Cleveland so he could play with LeBron. Um, but I looked at that like, man, it wasn't gonna happen. This is just rumors, you know, because it happened 3, 4 times, and you know there was nothing. Um, and there was never any inclination in my mind that it was even a remote chance that Blake could get traded. Why? Because of that max contract that he was given over the summer. Why would you just trade somebody who you just made a franchise player, who you just offered a max deal to? That didn't even compute to me that that would happen. And it didn't occur to me that that was in the slightest chance. I felt like they would have traded the whole rest of the roster before they traded Blake, because that's the individual that the franchise has been built around. Um, and then I get the alert. Blake Griffin to the Pistons. And I'm like, man, hell nah. I'm looking at it the same way I looked at all the DJ rumors, all the DeAndre Jordan trade rumors. It ain't gonna happen. And because of them DeAndre Jordan trade rumors, I'm like, it would be more likely that they would trade DJ than trade Blake, because there's contractual things here. DJ's a free agent in the summer. Lou Williams is a free agent in the summer. Blake Griffin just signed to a max deal with y'all. Like, what's going on? So all day people call me because people know how much of a super fan of the Clippers and Blake Griffin I am. So, and I'm the only real diehard Clippers fan I know. Everybody else, I'm in Southern California, so most people I'm around is Lakers niggas. You know what I'm saying? So niggas is blowing my phone up like, yo, like Blake gone, blah blah. I'm just like, bro, literally, I went into, I'm not even gonna front. Like, I went into a depression about this. Like, nah, like, I gotta wait and see, because a lot of things are rumors and they get reported as rumor, but they don't really happen. We've seen this happen, especially with the Clippers. Like I said, this season alone, there was 4 different times that it was breaking news that DeAndre Jordan was going to get traded, and he never got traded. Not to mention the DeAndre Jordan going to Dallas and it didn't end up happening, or Chris Paul going to the Lakers and he ended up going to the Clippers. I've seen this over and over dealing with this franchise. So I was still a little optimistic about him not leaving. I couldn't believe that they would do this. This had me saying in my mind, man, you know, Donald Sterling would have never did this. And I don't believe he would. And say what you will about Donald Sterling, I have plenty of negative comments about that devil Donald Sterling, but I don't think that Steve Ballmer, though he hasn't been caught up making them same statements, I don't believe Steve Ballmer is any less racist than Donald Sterling is. But that's another story. Um, so Blake, the story breaks. I'm in denial. I'm in straight denial. Like I'm going through all the process of grief. Like I'm in straight denial. Like nah. Like niggas calling me. They keep calling me, snapping me, texting me, everything, laughing at me. Blake going ha ha ha. Because these Laker niggas are salty because they suck right now. But shout out to Lonzo. Pray for Lonzo. But you know, Laker niggas is calling me because they saw it and they like, oh yeah, y'all niggas about to suck. And I'm like, wait a minute, like honestly, and I went on Blake's Twitter and I seen he posted the Will Smith shock face. And I said, damn, this might be real. So then by the end of the night, like it was official, like it was real, and Blake spoke on it. And it was crazy to me. It was crazy to me. But I said, honestly, this is the same thing that made me stop being a Sonics fan. Was them trading my nigga, was them trading GP. So I said, I'm gonna have to withdraw my support of the organization because I don't like the direction the organization is going in. Period. I can't rock with that. That was like an ultimate betrayal to me to trade the dude that you just gave a $173 million contract to and you told was going to be a lifetime Clipper. Mind y'all, how they got him to sign that deal is they had that mock retirement where they put a mock ceremony of them retiring his jersey and how he was going to be a lifetime Clipper. And it was like, y'all gotta understand, like being a Clippers fan, especially in the 2000s, not the 2010s. It's been easy in the 2010s, but in the 2000s, that was rough. You understand what I'm saying? They had like, cause we share a building, not just the city, we share a building with the Lakers, who was getting rings during this time period. You understand what I'm saying? Getting rings, right? Had Kobe, who everybody damn near has turned into a demigod and worships. You understand what I'm saying? So, but they had Kobe, who was able to be a lifetime Laker. And for Clippers fans, Blake was like that Kobe. Even though he didn't bring us the rings, we still loved him. We still loved to watch him play because of the excitement, all them hard jams, that he was bringing in. We still loved to watch him play. But, it was just crazy. Like, for that to be taken. This has been our dude. This has been our ace. This has been the man in LA. Period. This nigga been running LA, especially since Kobe fell off. This is the man in LA as far as the hardwood is concerned. Paused. Right? So it was devastating. So again, I had to withdraw my support of the organization because I didn't like that. Number one, I don't think they're gonna get DJ to stay. They might be able to get Lou Williams to stay, but I doubt it because the level of play that he's at, he's looking to get a stupid contract. And here's the thing too. Here's the thing too. Um, after the season, I heard the news when Steve Ballmer had got Jerry West to come and work in the front office for for the Clippers, had stolen from the Warriors, and rumor had it that the purpose of bringing Jerry West in to the front office was to potentially lure LeBron in when he became a free agent. And then LeBron made statements the next day. And he didn't speak on that, of course, directly, but from what I took from his statements, essentially he's saying that he ain't coming to LA. That without Blake, was no reason for him to come, which I don't even understand why they would think he would want to come to LA without Blake Griffin. If you take a look at a front court of Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, LeBron James, Lou Williams in the back court, put Austin Rivers at the point, that's a hell of a squad. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That's a hell of a squad. Lou Williams just scored 50 on KD when he had 44. You know what I'm saying? Lou Williams is balling out of control. Multiple 40-point nights, multiple 30-point nights. Balling out of control. Not to mention all the boards that DJ is getting. Consistent double-doubles that Blake. And we ain't got to talk about LeBron. We know what LeBron is doing. Right? So, now with Blake gone, the likelihood of LeBron coming is zero, in my opinion. I don't even see him leaving Cleveland at this point. I don't see anything tempting enough for him to leave Cleveland. It don't even make sense. You know? So he made a statement about the criticism that players get, and of course he was mostly referring to himself, the criticism that players get when they leave, but organizations don't get criticized when they trade people. Right? Like, of course, everybody hated his guts in Cleveland when he went to Miami. They burned his jersey when he went to Miami. But what are you going to do to the organization when they trade away your favorite player on your squad, the one you don't want to go nowhere, the one that committed to you, the one that said he want to be a lifetime player for your team? What do we do to that organization? Well, what I say we do is what I did: withdraw the support from that organization. To hell with that organization. I don't give a damn what happens to that organization. And personally, I believe they have no hopes of a playoff spot now without Blake Griffin. And they remain in ninth place at a half game back. Do I believe now that the Pistons got a spot, got a chance in the Eastern Conference, who are also in ninth place at a half game back right now? Of course I do. So I withdrew, and it is cold because I got a Pistons hat anyway. And I've been looking for an excuse to wear that, throwback Pistons gear from when what's my man Grant Hill was playing with the with like the turquoise and the maroon. I think that is fly. I'm about to get a new little throwback hat, little Pistons throwback, but I got the Pistons hat, the red and blue one, and it's cool because it's the same color scheme anyway, the Haitian flag color scheme. So I'm rocking with it. Blake over there at Detroit. So first thing I did was, and on top of that, after the trade, Blake ain't even on the team yet. Um, and Andre Drummond, lead the squad, short staff squad without Blake into Cleveland, and break them niggas off real quick. So that was powerful. They undefeated 4-0 since acquiring Blake. So anyway, Blake's first game, I got it. I went on League Pass and I wanted to see if you could order like a single game, because I know you could get the. I didn't want the whole year package, crazy year package, because these niggas got the nerve to charge you full price, and we halfway through the season, finna be the All-Star game, whatever. So I want to see if you can get a single game. You could for like $7. So I ordered the game. Watched it with my son. Um, and it was great, man. I felt, and it is what it is. Nigga could judge me, whatever. I felt emotional about it, to a degree, because I really empathize with the brother. Like, man, like, you done poured your heart and soul into this franchise, and they just said fuck you and gave you to somebody else for nothing in return. Not nothing. Not saying that them brothers that got traded to the Clippers from the Pistons were nothing, but I mean, they weren't this brother's caliber of player. They weren't top tier caliber players. This brother has been in MVP talks. Which one of them has ever been in the MVP conversation? Which one of them has ever been a true team leader? Let's be real. They're not even the best players on their team, on the Pistons. Reggie Jackson and Andre Drummond are. You understand what I'm saying? So I watched the game, and it was an emotional moment. But I feel good. And now, yes, I am a Detroit Pistons fan, and I don't give a damn. You know, and it's funny because something that people used to always use against me as a Clippers fan was, oh, y'all niggas ain't got no rings, y'all ain't got no championships. Well, hey, you can't say that now because I'm a Pistons fan. We got them joints with Rip Hamilton. You know what I mean? We go back in the day, the bad boy era. So it is what it is. But that's something I definitely wanted to speak on and elaborate on and quantify the statements that I made on social media so much, because that affected me a lot. Just as a passionate Clippers fan and as a passionate Blake Griffin fan, that affected me a lot. And now it's cool. We 4-0, we undefeated. You know what I mean? Since Blake came to the squad, and just major salute to the Pistons organization, who was coming off of a damn 10-game losing streak and got a little shot in the arm through the brothers' acquisition and was able to ball out and has been able to ball out. I hope they continue to ball out. And on top of that, also the news of Andre Drummond, because there was a huge controversy about him being snubbed for an All-Star spot, but with John Wall being injured, Andre Drummond has been selected as his replacement on the All-Star roster for the Eastern Conference. So that's big. Salute to that brother. And also, he was player of the week this week. Had a 17 rebound game balling. So, when I seen it, it was funny. Early on in the game, in the first game with Blake threw a lob to Andre. Andre missed it, and then he went and said something to him. And then, later on in the game, he was able to catch a few and put them in. So, they working out their rhythm together, and wherever Blake gonna go, not only is he gonna score and he gonna be a playmaker, and he gonna do his thing. But he's a facilitator. He gets a lot of assists as a stretch forward. He likes to throw them lobs, so he gonna turn Motor City into Lob City now. It's fine. He gonna do his thing, man. And you know, he made a profound point about why he didn't have a no trade clause in his contract, why he didn't negotiate for it. And you know, he just essentially said, I don't want to play where I'm not wanted. And you know, that's a big deal. Because why would somebody want to do that? That's literally a mental disorder that so many of our people are plagued with, that want to just be accepted where people don't accept you. Sometimes you just gotta understand you're not wanted, so don't go around there. Because people don't want you there. Don't try to guilt them into wanting you there. They don't want you there. To hell with them. Go where you're wanted, because you wanted somewhere. And he was wanted in Detroit. So he's doing his thing in that cold ass weather. So shout out to that brother. Nothing but basketball success for that brother. And truthfully, he gonna have an easier chance getting into them latter rounds of them playoffs that he was never able to get to in the West, in the East. This is a fact. Even though the East has stepped it up this year, let's not get it twisted. Between Boston and Cleveland and Toronto, the East is stepping it up. But I'll be real with you, it's going to be easier for him to get into them later rounds in the East than in the West. The West is a beast. The West has been a beast as far as the playoffs go. As far as the regular season go, you got to see, he's in the Pacific. You got to see the Warriors 4 times a year. That's rough. You understand what I'm saying? That's rough as hell to have to see the Warriors 4 times a year. The Thunder, the Spurs. You understand what I'm saying? The Rockets. That's heavy. You know? But still, he's still going to have to see the Cavs 4 times a year. And the damn Celtics. You know? But hey, I have confidence that that brother will be continuing on, and, you know, give him all the success that he can get. Even with that, I want to also, since we're on sports, I'm gonna talk about again, forgive me. I'm gonna talk about some more sports news. The XFL is coming back. Vince McMahon announced that in 2020 they bring it back to XFL. I want to say this. I did before a special. We were doing the Super Predators podcast for a minute. I had a few podcast series. We had the Super Predators podcast, the Gorilla in the Mist, which is a Patreon exclusive, and then we have this one. But we was doing the Super Predators podcast for a while, and I did with my young brother Yazar. We did a wrestling episode where we just talked about black wrestling. Because I grew up a wrestling fan. So naturally, when the XFL came out, I loved it. I didn't understand why it folded or any of that. But later I understood from reading articles. I was a kid. I didn't understand that the level of play was unsatisfactory, and that led to kind of a ratings plummet, and why there was only one season of it. But I loved it. I loved the concept. I loved the Smash Mouth rules. I loved the uniforms, the team names, cheerleaders. I loved all of it. And I watched it as much as I could when I was young. So here Vince McMahon is again setting up the XFL to come back. And, you know, you can never take away from the genius of Vince McMahon in a lot of ways. And this is one of them. With Vince McMahon and several other, not just Vince McMahon, Paul Heyman is another one of them. I'll isolate those two. Vince McMahon and Paul Heyman. Two of the most legendary wrestling promoters in the history of the business. Not two of the most, the two most, if you ask me. One WWE, the other one ECW. What they have become experts at is what so many other white people have become experts at. And that's exploiting black ideas. Exploiting black ideas. Or black notions, black concepts, black intellectual property. For example, if you the only person who's really remembered out of the XFL is He Hate Me. He Hate Me. Black intellectual property. Period. He hate me. Um, ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling, which is probably looked at as the most entertaining of all wrestling promotions that have ever existed. If you go and listen to Paul Heyman saying what inspired him to present his product in the way he did, he said it was hip hop music. Early 90s hip hop, especially Public Enemy and NWA, was what inspired him to do it. That Smash Mouth live, raw style. That's where it came from, which then prompted Vince McMahon to start something called Raw, which has been the longest running weekly episodic television program in United States history, mind you. Most successful professional wrestling program ever. So this is all, it all comes from black people. All right. So here we have the XFL coming back. Why do I say the XFL coming back is the theft of intellectual property of black people? Here's why. He's capitalizing off of Colin Kaepernick sympathizers. It's obvious. People have a problem with the NFL. People have a problem with the NFL um, because of this situation with Colin Kaepernick and his rightful protest and him being blackballed, and just things like this, along with the predatory, or not predatory, but repressive rules. You know, once they banned all the touchdown celebrations and stuff like that. Like, people don't like that. People love the showmanship, and a lot of that also came from the intellectual property of black people. All those various entertaining showmen, touchdown celebrations and taunting and trash talk. That's black shit. You see what I'm saying? That's not nothing else. So him capitalizing off of all this and knowing that this is what people are missing from football is now going to relaunch his dead football league. Smart, is genius. I'm looking forward to it. I plan to watch it. Not bootleg. I boycotted the NFL all year. The Super Bowl was on Sunday. Didn't watch a damn play of it. Didn't care. Was happy to find out Tom Brady bitch ass ain't get it, but I didn't give a damn. I checked the score. I ain't gonna lie, my Seahawks is my squad, so I would check the scores, as the game progressed and after the final. But I would never sit down and watch the game. I didn't give a damn. I stood with that protest, right? And I felt like it was wrong for them to snub the brother Colin. But it is what it is. He's doing his thing, and he's needed in a bigger facet to the community than somebody on a gridiron. You understand what I'm saying? But we might see him in the XFL. If Vince is smart, he gonna put Colin Kaepernick as a starting quarterback on one of them XFL franchises. So we're gonna see what happens, and that's if we make it 2020. Who knows? Rocket Boy gonna probably blow this thing up before the XFL can start again. But if it do, we're gonna see what happens. Guarantee you though, I have a strong hunch we're gonna see Colin Kaepernick in the XFL uniform in no time. Because Vince ain't stupid. He knows how much controversy sells. He's made himself a billionaire off of controversy. Period. So I wanted to deal with that as well. Another major development that occurred this month, or not this month, this week, is we all have a beloved brother by the name of Troy Ave. Okay, Troy Ave. Troy Ave is somebody who I have grown to become a major fan of. Okay, I really grew to be a fan of his music, and I just heard about him. Like, I've known about Troy Ave for a long time, but I never actually listened to his music. I actually know some groupie that let Troy Ave hit like years ago, because of his association with a much larger rapper, and now she could literally say like, that was a feat, that was an accomplishment in groupie hold 'em. You know what I'm saying? She let Troy Ave beat. You know what I mean? But big fan of Troy's music. Um, Everybody knows about the incident that occurred with the shooting. Everybody knows about the situation involving he and Taxstone. That's not a secret at this point. It's been discussed widely on radio shows and blogs and podcasts, etc., etc. It's been discussed widely. So a lot of controversy has recently arose. Um, and he did 6 days ago now, I'm looking at it. He did a song called Too Legit to Quit. Um, Interesting record. But on this record, it seems as if, now again, I don't know. We can't say this for sure. This is speculation. But I mean, he could be capitalizing on controversy. Um, it could just be artistic expression, and there could be absolutely no truth to it. But he hinted at taking a stand on an op, as he put it, laughing when an op um, gets convicted. He hinted at these things. We know he has an op who is currently behind bars, currently awaiting trial, named Taxstone. Allegedly, the shooting at the club was between he and him. Uh, so for him to laugh at that, I had somebody come to me, laugh about it, and say, "Man, come on, he not gonna do that. He's just talking shit." Um, I hope so. I hope he doesn't plan to take the stand against another black man. I really hope he doesn't plan to do that. First, just because it violates street code, number one, and you claim to be a street nigga and a hood nigga and a gangster and all that. It goes against that grain, principally, number one. Number two, as a black man, you shouldn't want to see another black man go behind bars. And I know it's unfortunate that there are black men that are not alive anymore because of that incident. And there's a way things like that are handled and taken care of. Um, but to leave that in the hands of this devil, that don't even make sense. That don't even make a lick of sense. That don't begin to make sense. So, um, now he made the statement about laughing when somebody gets convicted, which is also objectable. But we got to remember, um, Troy Ave is a major 50 Cent fan. That's not a secret. He hasn't attempted to hide it, and he looks at 50 Cent as a great inspiration and role model. Not necessarily a negative thing as far as that world goes. And I mean, I'm a huge 50 fan. Don't get it. I'm like a major 50 head. Everybody who know me know that. Um, but and we know that when Supreme got convicted, 50 laughed. That's not a secret. So maybe that was Troy's justification for making that line. I don't know. Either way, I disagree with that. Period. I disagree with laughing at a black man being sentenced to a cage for any amount of time. That's ridiculous. Period. It's ridiculous, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be glorified. It shouldn't be a joke. That's a problem. That's a major problem. There's a prison industrial complex that's working against every one of us. And why would you laugh when you got a trial you facing too? I took issue to that. I took major issue to the situation with Troy saying major issue. Now again, that he could just be saying that, but even playing like that, like again, he sparked controversy. And now he's the talk of everybody right now. So I mean, it is what it is. Uh, that could be what he's doing. And again, I hope it is. I hope he legitimately doesn't want to take the stand against Taxstone and get him indicted. I'm not indicted because he's already been indicted. He's behind bars to get him convicted. I really hope not. Honestly, that's ridiculous. Um, Ain't nothing that important because he's looking at serious time. It's not like I'm a Taxstone head. You know what I mean? I'm not the biggest fan of Taxstone and his opinions, truthfully. Um, but there's definitely certain things he said that I agree with. But as far as that whole situation, like You know, I took Troy's side on the situation, 1,000%. But now, with you doing that, that's weird. You know, and then I look at certain things people have said about Troy, um, i.e. Corey Finesse. Corey Finesse, if y'all don't know who Corey Finesse is, he's the only member of GS9 that did not go down in that indictment. Um, he signed a Junior Gillette who plays in the NFL to New Entertainment. My fellow Haitian brother. He's of course, Brooklyn. He's a GS9 member. So he said Troy Ave was a bozo. Um, so I didn't understand really why he said that. And he said free tax stone. So I'm looking like, okay, well, I don't know what's going on. You know, I've been to Brooklyn, but I don't know everything that's going on in Brooklyn, especially as far as that goes. I'm not a Brooklyn guy. So maybe there's something else going on because from what I understood, Troy Ave ran with Crips. Obviously, GS9 are Crips. Tax Stone is a Blood. So for me to see a Crip to take a Blood side over, at least I believe Troy is a Crip, but he's at least a Crip affiliate. That in and of itself was taken aback by it. Like, okay, maybe something else is going on. Of course, that's unbeknownst to the public, but that the streets know about. For him to do something like that. So there's definitely some things that have raised my eyebrows over the course of time in the situation. Um, and maybe Troy doing some rat stuff was a part of that. But this, I mean, it's hard for people to take his side with this. It's hard, because snitching is just not right. Period. Plain and simple. It's just not right. So, of course, we're all looking at this as something that's objectable. And again, hopefully, excuse me. Again, hopefully this is not what's going on. Let's hope. For Troy's sake. Let's hope this is not what's going on. Because this would be disgusting. If in fact is what he plans on doing. Again, he also has this concept of powder that you'll hear in his lyrics. Which powder is like is a play on power, where he's Ghost, his own version of Ghost. So this also could possibly be just a play, kind of on the universe that he's created within his music. And again, it could be artistic expression, which again, I hope it is, because of course we know, we all watch Power, we all can't wait for the shit to come back on, and we all know the various things that Ghost has done, and Ghost getting Lobos locked up, and he murdering Lobos in jail, and all of that. We understand all of that. So that either may be his justification for doing it, or that may just be his artistic expression of doing it, and knowing that capitalizing on that could cause controversy, but not having actual intentions of testifying on the stand against Taxstone. So this can go any manner of ways. So we just got to see what happens. We can't jump to conclusion. We don't know what he's going to do. You know what I'm saying? So we can't just jump to conclusions on the situation. So that's all I had on that. In other news, Martin is back. Martin is back. I don't know what. Of course, I ain't gonna have Tommy, unfortunately. But I don't know what the show's gonna entail. I just know Martin is back. I know Pam and Gina. My goodness, man. Good God, it was looking so good. It's crazy. They like wine, man. When they say black don't crack, black is like that fine wine. She get better. They got better with time, man. They got better with time. They look even better than they did back in the 90s, man. Beautiful. Especially everybody knows Tashina Arnold, which is Pam, is God. That's my baby, man. Right? And it's funny because I made a post about it on Facebook because there was both kissing Martin, which of course is one of my all-time favorite actors and comedians of all time, of course. And I said, damn, it would be ill if they brought it back and they were in a polygynous relationship. That would be really ill because they was both kissing them. Just the imagery. It would have been ill, but who knows if they're going to do that. I don't even know what network it's going to be on. I even did the research on that, but from one of the peers, Martin is coming back, so we all be looking forward to it. I mean, it's crazy because just them putting the reruns back on was able for them to show how much interest is still in the product. Everybody I know is like, oh, what you doing watching Martin? Everybody, I'm like, nigga, why you watching them old ass Martin reruns? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a hella new shit on right now. Niggas watching Martin like it ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? So I saw that interest. So they're genius for picking it back up. Of course, there's always a little bit of pessimism with reboots. There's always a little bit of pessimism or rehashing and redoing stuff, but we just want to see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm sure Martin ain't gonna be a radio host no more. I'm sure he's gonna be a podcaster or something to that effect. But you know, we'll see what happens. But best of luck to them, and I'll be looking forward. I'll be looking forward to that as well. Um, Outside of that, also, I want to talk about if anybody's seen Cardi B at the Grammys. I was I came across on Facebook a highly disturbing video of Cardi B at the Grammys. She's kind of like shaking and panicky and nervous, mostly nervous, shaking with the mic, nervous, and audibly talking about how nervous she was to be at the Grammys. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like somebody just hit a button, and she just paused for a minute, looked real serious, and then she came back a little bit less nervous, and was able to finish the interview. Of course, people are talking about automatically MK Ultra. And we've seen other celebrities do this and being caught up in a moment and pausing and freezing and doing all this weird stuff. And everybody always talks about MK Ultra, mind control, the elites and the type of backdoor deals that these individuals have to do in order to, you know, get on and get the fame and notoriety and money that they're getting. And all of that is an interesting conversation. I mean, I believe there's definitely something to it. I can't say for certain because I don't have firsthand knowledge and information on this stuff, but I mean, that's what it seems because that was inexplicably weird. I ain't really seen nobody do this. Somebody told me that you take enough opioids and niggas will start acting like that, but I don't know. I ain't seen it, so I'm not sure. I can't really speak to any of it, but all I can say was that was crazy. And y'all just look it up. Look up. It was damn near as bad as the Wendy Williams. Everybody seen that damn Wendy Williams nonsense. It was damn near as bad as the Wendy Williams situation. You know, so if you ain't seen it, check it out. Cardi B freezes at the Grammys, and you'll see it's trippy as fuck. It's trippy as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So check that out when y'all get a chance if y'all haven't already. Um, you know, we also have some. I follow a lot of stuff. Number one, let's talk about this. Actually, first, DMX. DMX, as a shorty, as a youngin' coming up, that was my favorite rapper. Rough Riders Anthem to this day is my favorite music video of all time, period. As a child, that was my shit, right? Couldn't wait till it came on the Box Urban, nigga. These young niggas now, they don't even know what the fuck a Box Urban is. They don't know about none of that shit. I'm the Box Urban, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? You could never call. Would have got my ass whooped if I would have called in and requested Rough Riders Anthem because of how much it cost to call and vote for your goddamn video that you wanted. Box Urban on nigga Rough Riders Anthem. All the DMX. DMX my favorite rapper. Used to be that used to come on, Get At Me Dog used to come on, Slipping, you know what I'm saying? What these bitches want from a nigga, all that. Y'all remember, right? But so DMX is back in jail. He keep failing drug tests. He keep failing drug tests, man. And this is again this type of shit is heartbreaking. You know what I mean? Like I feel like DMX is like my era's fucking Bobby Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like it's heartbreaking. You know what I mean? But like, I mean, it is what it is, man. I pray the brother gets right and you know finds the truth. That's what I really pray for that brother, because that's what's gonna get him off of crack. Because he the most prayingest nigga in every album, Christianest nigga you ever seen. But he can't get off drugs. You know what I'm saying? So that shows you how problematic that ideology is. That's why you got to come to the truth in the Bible and be an Hebrew Israelite. That's what's going to liberate you. That's what's going to free you from that crack addiction, any drug addiction, any addiction. Is the truth of that Bible and the Spirit and power of the Most High through His Son. Period. So I want to touch on that briefly. Also, you know, I follow a lot. It's something I follow a lot right now is female rappers. And one of the driving forces and reasons why I follow female rappers is because of how much better a lot of them are than niggas right now. They're a lot better than male rappers right now in a lot of instances. It's cold, and I'm gonna say this on record, and I don't give a damn how anybody feels about this, but Danielle Bergoli, aka the Catch Me Outside girl, who raps under the name of Bad Baby. She had a song called High Bitch. She put out the remix with Asian Doll herself, Asian Doll, Rich the Kid, and some other. I don't even know these guys, but I listened to it, and I can definitively say that Asian Doll and the white girl outperformed the two brothers on there, bar none, hands down. Granted, I definitely believe somebody's writing the white girl's lyrics for sure, and she definitely doesn't have the best delivery, but I could definitely say that them niggas had below average performances on the mic. And I don't even understand how they were comfortable with going in the studio and laying that down and putting that out, knowing the type of attention that it would get because it's the white girl's video. Don't even make sense to me. But I follow a lot of female rappers because a lot of them are performing at a higher lyrical level than a lot of the newer male artists that's out. And the reason why they're doing that is because, of course, they feel as if they have something to prove. Clearly. So, but I've always messed with female rap. I was always a huge Remy fan. Always kind of had a thing for Kim. I was always a Nicki fan from the moment, from 2008, 2009. I was a huge Nicki Minaj fan. That's not a secret. Everybody who know me know that. Um, who else? And various other females. A lot of them escape me, but I'm always a fan of female rap. When it's good, when it's what I'm saying, when it's hitting. You feel me? So there's like a new wave of female artists that's out right now. So amongst them, um, is you got these young girls, these real young girls, real little petite, cute little young girls running around that's doing it, that's talking this big guns, gangster shit, this drill shit. And that's you got Asian Doll, you got Cuban Doll, you got Molly Brazy, you got Rocky B. Or that was Molly B and Rocky B, Molly Brazy and Rocky Bad, whatever. So you kind of had an issue that had stirred up between Molly B and Rocky B, right? Earlier this year, or last year rather, I keep forgetting it's 2018. So last year you had that issue stir up between them. They both from Detroit. Cuban Doll is a close associate of Molly B or Molly Brazy. So apparently Cuban Doll and Rocky B, due to the affiliation that Cuban got with Molly, got in some type of, social media, Twitter fingers or whatever. Now what ended up happening is um, Cuban go to Detroit. She get to Detroit. Apparently Rocky B beat her ass. Maybe not, but they fought. It was played by a lot of people as if Rocky B beat her ass. I mean, it is what it is. You catch a head up fade. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But catching a head up fade in and of itself is something that's respectable. Um, so that happened. And the thing is, man, it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate, man. And a lot of females, like, female rap beef is bigger, or it happens, I feel like, more often, and it happens with more fierceness than the male rap beef. I see a lot of, don't get it twisted, this male rap beef going on, but it's a lot of like unity and camaraderie, and these niggas is all on Xans together and doing bullshit records together. Like, it's a lot of that going on in the rap game. A whole lot of it. I feel like it's not going on with females. And I understand that we under certain curses as a people, and that's the driving force behind it in a lot of ways, especially amongst our sisters. But it's unfortunate because I feel like they could be doing so much more winning together. Like, it's a lot of females that's out right now that if they moved as a unit and had more sisterhood amongst themselves, could really win even more. Because you got Cardi, who just destroyed shit. Period. Um, who else? Now you got other females. She's opening the lane up for other females for a Dream Doll, for Bad Girls Club getting on, and these girls and things like that. If they truly function together, they stand to make more of an impact. But beef also sells, so it is what it is. But it's unfortunate. These girls are talented. I honestly could say I like their music. Outside of this, just them being cute, they are cute too, and that plays a role in it. Um, but it's crazy because you see basically um, they get in a little fight. They get on Instagram Live. The Instagram Live is going crazy. Y'all can see all this shit on YouTube. This is how I see all this shit. That's how I keep up with everything. I see this shit on YouTube. Um, so Boom, they do that. So then Cuban go run to the studio and do a diss record about how she's not fighting, she's killing. And it's like this shit is like beyond my understanding. I done seen 21 Savage do this shit, Young Thug do this shit, Cuban, just everybody. Don't nobody fight, nigga. We shooting. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna just keep it all the way 1,000 with you. If you say I'm not fighting, I'm shooting on Instagram, you're a bitch. Here's why you're a bitch. You that's like basically waving the white flag and saying I'm pussy, I'm a bitch. Let me explain why. Are you ready? If I get in an altercation with you, and then I get on fucking the internet, nigga, and I say, nigga, fuck that. I'ma shoot you, nigga, on the internet. You know what that means? I never have any intentions of harming you ever. And I'm afraid to see you on a head-up altercation. That's all that means. Why nah? The real niggas don't shoot, they fight. I ain't even saying that. What I'm saying is, if you say it on the fucking internet, you just indicted your goddamn self when you do shoot that person. And you can't be that stupid. So you must not have any intentions of harming that person ever. That's what that means. That's like an ultimate home move to me. Somebody beat your ass and you talking about shooting them on the internet. Nigga, you don't ever want to shoot that person. Or else you must really like being in fucking prison. That shit is crazy. Stop doing that shit. Acting like real niggas don't see what time it is with that. That's bullshit, nigga. That's whole shit. I see that shit a mile away. I ain't fighting, I'm shooting. Nigga, shut the fuck up. You ain't shooting shit. You got all them guns in that video. And yeah, Cuban, let's go to Cuban Dog. You ain't finna shoot a fucking thing. You got all of you just gonna be cute. Just be cute. That's what you do. Be cute. Rocky B. Leave the shit alone. Be cute. Rap that shit in them songs and fucking be beautiful black women, and that's all y'all niggas need to do. Stop fighting. Stop threatening to shoot people. Fuck all that shit. This shit is crazy. And y'all not finna shoot no goddamn body. Period. And that goes for all these grown ass men doing the same fucking thing. Like they're stupid. Like they don't have partners that's doing life. Let's be fucking real here, man. Be fucking real. Alright? Yeah, but with that, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. I'm gonna wrap up this first edition of Issa Gorilla. Look out for future installments. You can check me on Facebook.com/Gorilla Hebrew. Check us out on Instagram, Exodus1715. And everything else. So stay tuned for more. With that, shalom.